So, we're going to do Pachelbel's Canon, or Canon in D, by Johann Pachelbel, and a little bit of background about it first, because I always like to know a little bit about the piece of music that I'm going to play, and of course teach, and I think it's nice for you to know a little bit about it. But anyway, it's believed to have been composed around like the late 1600s. Nobody's, really certain, but something close to like 350 years ago. And it was pretty much forgotten for like 300 years, apparently. And then sometime in the 70s, a couple of chamber orchestras, quartets, whatever, started to record some versions of it. And like a chamber orchestra would be, like say if there was four, it's a small orchestra, say that there was four, it might be like 2 violins, a viola, and a cello, or something like that. So anyway, it really started to gain popularity again in the 1980s, and now it is like everywhere. I'm sure you've heard it, a ton. I know that I have. Maybe you haven't. But anyway, so the ukulele was invented in like the late 1800s. So that is, way like 100-something years after this was written. So there's no ukulele at all involved with it, of course. And it's just a piece of music. It has nothing at all to do with ukulele. Ukulele has nothing at all to do with Pachelbel's Canon, except that it's music, and we can play music on whatever instruments we feel like. So what that allows us to do right now with the ukulele is we pretty much can do whatever we want, because we can't play it as written. It was written for, I believe, 3 violins and a like basso continuo or something, like a bass part that just kind of goes through the whole piece. So whatever, we can't do it. So we can just do whatever we feel like. So what we're going to do is go through, excuse me, and play it, and it's pretty simple. It is just this, the part we're going to do is just this chord progression, okay? And it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chords. Yes, 5 chords arranged in a series of 8 with some repeated stuff. And each of the chord is 1 measure, so it's 4 beats long. And it's just D, A, B minor, F sharp minor, G, D, G, A, and it repeats and it repeats and it repeats. And it's written as a canon, and a canon is a musical device that's similar to a round. A lot of people know a round. Row, row, row your boat is a round. What that means, the musical device called a round, is, I don't know if you've ever sung Row, row, row your boat as an actual round, but it's, row, row, row your boat. And then at that point, somebody else or another group comes in at the beginning again. So you sing row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. And when you're singing gently down the stream, the next group is singing row, row, row your boat. And then when they get to the gently down the stream, a third group is singing row, row, row your boat. So they keep kind of overlapping at like different times. So all these people are singing different things at the same time, and it all kind of goes together and sounds kind of neat. So that's what a round is. A canon is very similar, except that a round is the exact same thing for each part. A canon is, each part is almost the exact same thing. There's differences. There might be different notes to make different harmonies or things like that. But it's very similar. So anyway, in a round, like I said, each voice, each part is identical. In a canon, there's some variations. Okay, so okay, so here's what I came up with. So what we can do, because it's just those 8 chords, you can play it however you want. So you could go D, A, B minor, F sharp minor, G, D, G, A. You could do whatever you want. And then you would want to end on D because that's the root chord, canon in D. So if you don't do that, it doesn't quite sound like it's finished. So you go through the chord progression, the 8 chords in order as many times as you'd like, however you'd like, whatever you want to do. And then when you're done, you really should end on the D again. So that's really it. So I sort of was playing around with it and came up with a few things. So for the D, I was thinking if I played it up here, okay, that sounds kind of nice. So what I'm doing is, right now, for now, I'm ignoring the G. So I'm playing on the C string, the 6th fret, and then the E and the A strings, the 5th and the 5th fret. And if I pluck them with my thumb and 2 fingers, I can get a slightly different sound than strumming them, because if you strum them, no matter how fast you strum a stringed instrument, you're still strumming one string at a time. No matter how fast you do it, you're still going, one string at a time. So if you pluck them with thumb and fingers, or however you'd like to, then you can actually do all the notes at the exact same time, similar to how you could do it on a piano. So a piano, you could certainly go, do-do-do, and play notes one after the other, or you can play them at the exact same time. So if we pluck them with 3 separate things, thumbs, fingers, whatever, then we can actually play them at the exact same time. And it also sounds, it's nice because this actually ends up sounding like violin if you have 3 violinists and they're each playing the 3 separate notes and plucking the strings instead of, well, that would be the note, plucking instead of bowing them. Okay, then the 3 plucked at the same time, you get that. So anyway, 6-5-5 is a D, and if we play it with half notes, I think sounds nice. Okay, then the A, since we're up around here, I want to look for an A that would be somewhere around this area. Okay, so with the D, I just took the 3 notes of the D chord and D, F sharp, A, and figured spots to play them. So that's A, D, and that's F sharp. Okay, then the A chord, A, C sharp, E. If we play it here, I'm playing on the same 3 strings, 4, 5, 4. So it looks like a D chord, but 2 frets higher. A G chord, but 2 frets higher. And then the B minor just the standard B minor that most people know, 4th fret, 2nd, 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 although we're not going to play the G, so just 2nd, 2nd, 2nd on the C, E, and A strings. Then the F sharp minor, the one that everybody would know, just the open F sharp minor chord. So all we're playing with those 3 strings is 1st, 2nd, and open. And then G, the normal G. And then D, the normal D. Just those 3 strings though, so 2, 2, 0. G again, 2, 3, 2. And then A, 1, 0, 0. So we have a different A there because the chords are going down. So I lost track of where I was. Okay, I also could have done the G and then did the A up here like I did previously, 4, 5, 4, and then the little chord progressions going G, A, and then D. So it goes dun dun dun, it goes higher. But I kind of liked the lower and then, whoopsie, jumping back up. I kind of like the sound of that. So anyway, let's call that part 1. Okay, then for part 2, we can we can do something like that. So I'm just going to jot a note down so that I will remember, so I don't have to watch the video all the way through and type it all out. So, okay. So if we do that, then we have, if we keep the chords the same, but now we'll do something where we're going to pluck the notes individually. So now it would be quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I like that. That sounds nice, right? Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm plucking the 3 strings, thumb, 1st finger, and 2nd finger. Okay, so the classical guitar way of writing that out is P for your thumb, for some reason, which we'll get into in a second. Your 1st finger is I, so like an index finger, but it means a slightly different word. Your middle finger would be M, and again, like middle finger, but not. And then, if we want to keep going, this would be the annular, and pinky's rarely used. I forget what that is, but it's almost never used. But anyway, so P for your thumb is pulgar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it just means thumb in, I believe, Spanish, I think, because guitar was really kind of invented-ish in like Spanish type communities, countries, stuff like that. So anyway, P is pulgar, I believe. I is indice, I-N-D-I-C-E, however you pronounce that. And this is medio, M-E-D-I-O, again, if I'm pronouncing it right. In A for annular, A-N-U-L-A-R, something like that. But anyway, so what we're going to do is P-I-M-I. So the strings, okay, the C string, the E string and the A string, I have my thumb, index finger, middle finger, and then index finger. So. Okay, so it's a nice technique to be able to use. A good reason for doing this is, doing it this way, is you have one thumb or finger per string, so you're never moving to another string. So it allows you to play nice and smoothly and fairly quickly. So, okay, but we're not going to go quick with this. The song is fairly slow, tempo-wise. I think like 80 beats per minute-ish is a good tempo for it. So anyway. The exact same picking pattern with just the different chords. Okay, so again, we're still using just those 3 strings, the exact same chord shapes, but now it's a slight difference. Okay, then we want to, or I want to, sort of build on that a little bit. So we have the beginning, we're going to do. And then so now I want to sort of build on that a little bit more. So we went with half notes and plucking the chords, to quarter notes and playing sort of arpeggios is what it is. The chords played one note at a time. Then well, the next obvious thing, I guess, would be eighth notes. So half notes is 2 beats per. Quarter notes is 1 beat per. Eighth notes is now a half a beat per. So we're doubling the notes each time. So, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm playing the original chord that we have. Then the next higher note in that chord. Okay, so the D chord is D, F sharp, A. And that top note that I'm playing is a D. So D, F sharp would be the 9th fret on the A string. So 6, 5, 5, 9th fret. Okay, but we want to do eighth notes, so we need 8 of them. Okay, and here's where, like, I'm writing a part, I'm composing a part. So here's a part, here's an example of where composition, writing a part, composing a part, sometimes it's a matter of just sort of filling in the blanks, and not, like, I did the creative thing where I said, okay, I want that, nice. So now I have to come up with, and I want 8 notes per measure. Now I have to come up with, how do I get 8 notes per measure with the notes that I've decided to use? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could do that. But I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and whoops, 1 and 2 and 3 and I couldn't reach. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, so I like that. So all I did is I actually went by ear, knowing what note on the ukulele in my head should be the note that I wanted to hear. And I think I made like 1 or 2 slight mistakes, like 1 fret off or something. So all I did though was took the notes like D, D, F sharp, A. Sorry, the top note is D. So F sharp, find that next higher note. Then A is, the chord A is A, C sharp, E. So that's, top note is a C sharp, the 4th fret on the A string. So, what do I say, C sharp, A, C sharp, so I need E, would be the 7th fret on the A string. Then B minor, that note there is a B, and the B minor is made up of B, D, F sharp. So that's a B, so the D would be the 5th fret on that string. And that would be the 4th fret on the A string for the F sharp minor. The G, 5th fret, D, D, F sharp, A. So I need the D, yeah. 5th fret again, G, 5th fret again, A, C sharp, E. So A is that top note that I'm playing, and then C sharp, 4th fret. So, yeah, so that part would be fourth fret, sorry. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so we'll call that part 3. And before I run out of video, I'm going to pause and start right back up again, and we'll take a look at the next part. Wait a minute, part 4. So, stay tuned. Okay, so when I stopped it, I played through what we had so far, and I actually really like that last part. Okay, oh, and the fingering is P-I-M, P-I-M-I, M-I-M-I. Yeah, so thumb, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index. Yes. I'll write all that out because it sounds confusing. But I really like that part, so I think for the next part, what are we up to, 4? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So for the next part, part 4, I guess we'll call it, I'm just going to repeat that because I really like it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to repeat that. Okay. Then for the 5th part, after all of that, now we want to build it more, okay? And the song is sort of, it's a slower tempo, and it's sort of very, I would call it stately. I'm not sure of a different word that I could use in case you don't know what stately means. It sounds very, like, kind of proper and just regal, kind of. Again, I don't know if I'm really explaining it well in easy, simple words. See, that's the problem. If you have a good vocabulary, you can never think of just a simple word. But anyway, I think now for the next part, we'll just go with some just full chords. So in eighth notes. So we're going from that. So now we'll just do, where am I? Yeah, that's D. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, we'll go with that. I like that. So the D, I'm just playing 7, 6, 5, 5, and I'm playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then A, 6, 4, 5, 4 with the bar at the 4th fret, of course. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the B minor, 4, 2, 2, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F sharp minor, 2, 1, 2, 0, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the regular G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D, 2 and 3 and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4 and A and 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah, we'll go with that. I like that. Should we do that twice? I don't know. I'll play around with it and see what I think. But anyway, so we'll call that part 5, I guess, because we're doing part 3 twice. 3 and 4? Something like that? Yes. Okay. Then, I think now we should kind of wrap it up. Because if we're doing 80 beats per minute, and it's 8 measures long, the chord progression, so 4 beats per measure, so 8 times 4, so 80 beats per minute, comes out to 25, 24 or so seconds long for each section. So something like that. So like 3 sections, what are we up to, 5? So that's like already a minute. So we're like up to like 2 minutes at this point. So I think we should kind of wrap it up for the whole piece. Oops, sorry, I just bumped the camera with my foot. For the whole piece, we're up to like 2 minutes, I think, if my math in my head is right. So now we'll go to, I think, to sort of wrap things up, because it's nice to have a beginning and it builds, and then it has like sort of the loud part, the sort of, you know, ta-da, peak, and then you end it. And I don't want it to end really slow, so kind of it builds, it builds, it builds, and then ends. So I think we'll just go with the strum chords, basic open chords that we would already sort of be aware of, hopefully. So D, and bring it back to half notes. So D, A, B minor, F sharp minor, G, D, G, A, and end it on D. So I think that works well. I think that's part 6 that we're up to. So anyway, so there we are. So feel free to come up with your own stuff. Like say you just wanted to go with this basic open chords, like I did at the beginning. You could do make it like a reggae beat. Whatever you want. You can add some tapping on the ukulele for some like sort of percussion stuff. Stuff like that, whatever you want. So go nuts. Come up with whatever you'd like. And I'd love to hear what you come up with. So feel free to let me know how it works out, and let me hear what you can come up with. So there we are. And so I think what I'm going to do is type all this stuff out, excuse me, and then play through it for you with a metronome, which is always good. So I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to practice a few. Well, type it all out and then practice it a bit. So I'll be back later.